welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today, we're going to be talking about Greenpro Capital Group, going with the ticker GRNQ. This is the first video I'm doing, so we're doing due diligence, technical analysis, and what we can anticipate in the next few days or so. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So Greenpro. This company here has been for a while. I've actually followed it a little bit last year. I've seen a lot of short selling activity about this one. That's as much as I know, and that it's easy to short sell. In terms of shares availability. It was part where I was trading it a while ago, and I've noticed these things about it, but that was a while ago. So Greenpro Capital Group is a US Nasdaq listed multinational financial services company headquartered in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with more than 30 years of experience in the finance industry. Greenpro has accumulated a significant number of global professional certificates and strategic offices across Asia Pacific region, which includes Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Bangkok. So their vision is to be globally renowned conglomerate, corporate, and financial advisory company committed to assisting clients to capitalize their revenue while maximizing their wealth. Now, we do have some of the latest news, especially as well one today on the 25th of October. Greenpro incubated company Angasca X admitted as International Telecommunication Union member files for LEO satellite launch. So this is basically one of the results out of their incubation and their leadership itself and mentorship, that one of their incubated companies is actually made it towards this union and also is filing for a satellite launch. So that on its own is quite massive. We're able to see Greenpro owns 28 million shares in Angasca X and is planning to list the company via an IPO on the US exchange in the coming months. And that will lead to a good amount of revenue coming in from this incubation's IPO. Other recent news includes the one on the 16th of September where they invest in 2 pre-STO projects in CryptoSX digital assets, and another one on the 5th of September, Greenpro to dividend C-Tech shares and extend shares to record date, and Greenpro confirms dividend distribution of C-Tech shares on August 31st. That was all the way back in the 2nd of September. 23rd of August, Greenpro and Angasca X signed MOU to develop the world's first GEO-LEO integrated satellite network and services platform. They also have different dividends as well, such as this one back on the 18th of August. So they are quite active in general. Another thing as well that we do want to talk about is their institutional buyers and the latest SEC filings. So first off, the first SEC filing, or the latest SEC filing, this was mainly towards a vote. The first thing here is talking about the votes relating towards hiring JP Censurin and Partners PLT as the company's independent accounting firm. That got accepted and approved. The others are more of stakeholders voting for the directors, and they all passed. So there's that. In terms of institutional buyers, we don't see massive 10% or so stakes in these companies. Usually Chinese-based companies or Asian-based companies don't get a lot of activity. We see Morgan Stanley here with around only 54 shares, so it might be a part of their index in general. No activities in September or October much, and the main ones were actually in August, where you see a bit of additions and subtractions or dispositions of some of the shares, but overall we don't have that massive volume of institutional buyers that we get to see. Insiders as well, they haven't been active except once in August. Before that, it was mainly July and June. And in terms of the dark pool volumes, we're able to see there's currently a short interest ratio of around 0.04 days to cover. So there is a lot of short selling activity as it appears. So almost 50% of any trading volume. So that's around 120 million shares being traded today and going on towards the short volume side. So that on its own is massive. Now, if we were to take a look into the short shares availability, we're seeing 0. It means it's shorted to the brim when you're talking about the short shares availability. None are returned back and not returned, and they're all borrowed. So a quick thing as well in terms of fundamentals. We're seeing these valuations. So the price over book based on the recent quarter is around 3.12. 3.12 is actually lower than the SP 500 average, which is pretty good. Now the price over sales over the last year is around 20.53, which is around 4 times overvalued than the SP 500. Now, this is mainly a momentum play, but you're able to see that the total assets increased significantly in the last couple of quarters, mainly towards exercising warrants or offerings in some sort. In terms of their operating income, since quarter 2 2020 to quarter 2 2021, we're seeing their operating incomes or operating losses increase. We're able to see it went to 539,468, 1.6 million 757, and then 2.12 million dollars loss. In terms of a net income, though, you're seeing one of the best quarters in the last quarter, 770. In quarter 1 2021, it was actually 6.2 million in net loss. So it definitely looks like it's offsetting overall, and they're improving in their numbers. Now, before moving on forward to technical analysis, if you'd like to see more contents like this, a lot of you amazing folks who watch me over and over, make sure to click that subscribe button as you help my channel and support me, and you can turn on notification buttons for this channel. Also, don't forget to drop a like if you actually enjoyed it. Our Discord server is in the description below. I do take suggestions on there, and it's more of a chat room. Let's go on towards technical analysis now. In terms of the technical analysis perspective, we're seeing a bunch of things that are looking bullish. First off is your 10 SMA, which is the green line, is above the red line, 30 EMA. And the price point is really close towards the 200 SMA at the 155 level, the blue line. And we get to see that the moving averages are getting apart from each other at a parabolic kind of shape in general, or an upward trend. That's a good thing. The next thing is the average trading index. That's sitting at 3887, which suggests that this is actually a trend. It's an upward trend. Even though we've seen a massive pullback, we're still up to 73%, so that's still a trend on its own. In terms of the willing percent R, which is very similar to the relative strength index, it shows that this one is neither overbought or oversold. It's at 52.94 in this level, so it's somewhere exactly in the middle. The RSI should show you similar results. In terms of the MACD, though, we're seeing that this one was actually going a little bit downwards, but then it went to the trading action zone between the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA and skyrocketed with the news as well, and that really pushed into what could have been a negative reversal into a bullish kick, so that's good. Momentum as well, it was actually diving down towards the zero around 0.16 and then sprung up to 0.78 in the positive direction, which is another good thing. In terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, with this pullback, it's telling you to be careful where the next support is because you might be testing it soon, but you might be actually good buying at that support. In terms of the moving averages, you're able to see that they're actually going upwards. This one is expected to trade at this today, 87 cents in the top and 71 cents in the bottom. In the middle, there's 79 cents, but it's actually going upwards and kind of curving upwards, and that's a good thing on its own. Volumes is one of the highest ever I've seen for this stock. Even with higher volumes that actually pushed this one all the way to 415, it wasn't as high as you've seen today, around 246 million shares being traded alone today. In terms of Fibonacci retracements, and the reason why I like to highlight this one is because institutions tend to take these into consideration. The first support on here is 114 and then 21 cents. Resistances are at 172, 218, 264, 331, and 415. In terms of price line action movements in general, to identify the significant supports and resistances, the first resistance is 149. If it breaks that, then it becomes a support. Another very strong resistance that would become a support as well is 154, and then 189, 203, going upwards to 216, 238 as well, and then 274, going to 307, and then 337, 368, and 415. Supports, we do have a few on here. First support is actually at the 148 level, and then 139 level, and then 124 level, and then downwards to the 112 level, 105 level, and then the 96 level, and then downwards to the 87 level, 79 cents level, 71, 64, and 58 cents level. Now comes to the question to Ed, what do you think is going to really happen in the next few days or so? Now, if we were to go ahead and try to see analyst recommendations, we don't find any. This stock is not massive with institutions in general. mainly because it's an Asian-based stock and not a US-based stock in general. And that tends to be kind of a negative perspective for these stocks. But overall, I do think that this is a strong momentum. You see these kind of pushes have been there previously, mainly towards how this one trades. It really spikes up. You get a short selling attack. It drops down. The next day, it opens up a little bit lower usually, and then pushes up, and you're able to see this trend is almost always similar, followed by a little bit of a drop in the next day with a green candle, where it really starts recovering and it becomes a pull and push. So it's really a high volatility game from here for the next few days. Do anticipate a bit of a drop, but it's going to recover during the day, as you get to see here. It might actually end up in the green. It will start in the red, it will end up in the green, as you get to see in these candles. That seems to be the trend about this one, and I do anticipate that this one will follow that. What do you think is going to happen here? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.